So Jorge Linares ekes out a split decision win over Luke Campbell here at the Forum in Inglewood, California. The announced attendance from Golden Boy Promotions was a little over 4,100. It didn't feel like there were that many people here. It felt maybe like half that, maybe 2,000-3,000. But official attendance, I believe, is 4,125. And you know, the atmosphere just felt really flat, really dead. And the term everyone was using was fan fatigue. There's just been many fights. Here in Los Angeles, and if you include what's been going on in Vegas, it's been a busy month, man. But here in LA, we've had a few of these cards in the last month or so. So fan fatigue, there's a lot going on here. But the fans that did come out had a lot of fun. Undercard wasn't that great, obviously. The co-main with Antonio Orozco, that got canceled because he missed weight. As far as I'm concerned, he's a complete non-factor, not even worth talking about. So there was really not much going on with the undercard. A lot of people were hanging outside till the main event, but when they did come in, they had a lot of fun. There were about 100 or 200 British fans that were right beside the ring that Eddie Hearn must have brought over with him, and they were cheering loudly anytime Luke Campbell did anything. Let's talk about the fight a little bit itself. You know, Linares started fast. He dropped Campbell, but it was more of a flash knockdown. I think it was the second round. It might have been the second or third round. It was more, Campbell was off balance, put down, but got hit right in the eye. And the eye popped open, it was cut, and from that point on, he claimed that he had double vision in that eye. But amazingly enough, he came back and showed a lot of resilience. And look, I told you guys on the neutral corner this week that Luke Campbell was no pushover. Good amateur career, good pedigree, tall guy, uses his range very well. I thought he did that against Linares very well. And gold medalist in the Olympics, right, back in 2012. So this guy knows how to fight. And he was coming over here, earned his mandatory spot, but he hadn't fought anybody elite yet. This was his first time really stepping up, and boy did he step up going up against Linares here in Southern California. So he showed he's no pushover, and he really showed just some guts and some skills. Now, the one thing, he's southpaw position, right? So he's coming as a southpaw. He was doing a lot of right hooks. They were being blocked a lot of times, and sometimes missing, but what they were doing is forcing Linares to reset. They were kind of slapping, but when Linares, from the orthodox position, would block it, it'd push him. It'd push his head down. And so he started seeing it coming and rolling with it, but he had to reset. He couldn't punch like that. So Campbell succeeded in keeping Linares off of him when he did that shot. Even if he missed, if Linares jumped straight back, it brought distance between them. So that was good. He also did some nice body work. He shot some nice straight left hands to the body, did some nice scoring on Linares and backed him up a few times, but not enough of it. It was one punch at a time. There wasn't much combination punching. When he did punch in combination, Linares countered him very hard, very well. Linares just faster, punches much straighter, just more fundamentally sound than Campbell. And you saw that, you know, I won't say fundamentally sound, that's a misstatement. Just a little more straight and fluid with the punches. So when they punched in combination, when they had exchanges, Linares won most of them. And in the moments when Campbell kind of laid back a little bit and was a little more defensive-minded, Linares worked. He did more work. So he did the more consistent work throughout. I scored it 8-4 for Linares, or 116-111. When the scores were read, I was pretty surprised. One judge had it for Campbell. I believe the score was 115-113, which would mean he had an even round in there somewhere and scored 7 or 8 rounds for Campbell, which I just didn't see. That's not the fight I saw. The other judges had it very close. I think one judge had Linares by a point, with the knockdown being the difference. He basically had to fight a draw. And the other judge had Linares, I think 7-5, something like that. 115-112 is the score. So yeah, 7 rounds to 5, which I thought was about the right score. So the judges had it even tighter than I did. But at the end of the day, look, Linares defends his titles, right? He's still, I believe, the lineal lightweight champ, and this is for the WBA. I couldn't remember which sanctioning body. I'm looking it up here on BoxRec. And everyone's talking about Linares and Mikey Garcia. Those are obviously the two top guys at lightweight. And a lot of people are putting Mikey Garcia on their pound-for-pound list, right? But look, if we look at who these two guys have fought, Mikey Garcia, since coming back after that long layoff, after leaving Top Rank and signing with PBC and everything, he really hasn't fought anybody. And above 130 pounds, his resume to me is suspect. He still has a lot more to prove. Linares, I'm just looking at his resume. You got Luke Campbell here, who he beat tonight. He beat Anthony Crolla twice, Ivan Cano, Kevin Mitchell, Javier Prieto, Ira Terry, Japanese fighter. You know, he's been all over the place. He's fought in Japan, Mexico, America, the UK. He has traveled. He's stamped his passport. I'll give him that much. But he hasn't really fought anybody elite. And I think Luke Campbell, who he fought tonight, was his best opponent in years, honestly. And you look at who Garcia has fought, Mikey Garcia, I think Luke Campbell's better than most of the guys he's fought. Now, you could argue that Adrian Broner, who he fought at 140, is better than Campbell. I don't know about that, by the way. If Campbell moved up to 140 and fought Broner right now, he might beat Adrian Broner. I don't think much of Broner these days. But these two guys have to fight each other. Mikey Garcia, Jorge Linares have to fight each other to determine who is the best lightweight. Linares talked about possibly moving to 140, mentioned that there's not much for him at 135. He's had some trouble making weight, maybe. I don't know. He's talked about possibly moving to 140. Maybe there are some fights for him there, but he just doesn't quite have the power against bigger guys, right? Campbell was a bigger, taller, longer guy, younger, maybe physically stronger. And Linares, yeah, he dropped him, but like I said, it was more of a flash knockdown. I don't know if he's got the power to knock guys out at 140. But I do think he's willing to fight Garcia. I think Garcia's willing to fight Linares, but Garcia keeps talking about money fights. He's talking about guys like Miguel Cotto, you know, moving way up in weight to fight him in his last fight. It just seems to me that Garcia's mind is on the money, not necessarily the legacy in fighting the best. But if these two guys fought right now, Mikey Garcia, Jorge Linares, I'd have to favor Mikey Garcia because I think he'd do a lot of things that Campbell did in the ring tonight, only with power. Mikey Garcia sits down his punches, fights in a more pro style. Campbell fights still a little more amateurish. He had a good amateur career, as I've said. His punches are a little more slapping, a little more cupping, punches with more of an amateur style. So based on what I saw tonight and what I've seen from their last few fights, I'd favor Garcia possibly to stop Linares late if they fought right now. As for Luke Campbell, I thought he fared very well for himself. And, you know, think about this, guys. If this fight was over in the UK, where it would have did a crowd of 30,000, I talked to some of the British media guys here ringside who flew over to cover this fight. They were saying that over in the UK, this fight could have did tens of thousands. Maybe there's a reason Golden Boy wanted to take this fight here to America. I know it was part of the whole deal with HBO and the Canelo Golovkin replay and all that, and there was a site fee involved. They got paid, they did well, they probably made money on this promotion, all that. But just think, this fight here, what we saw tonight from both men, where I saw Linares tiring late and Campbell putting it on late, and yet even controlling the fight in some of those middle rounds at times. This fight was in the UK with tens of thousands of screaming British fans. We might have saw a different result here tonight.